Hey there, YouTube fam. How's it going? Thank you so much for joining me in this tarot reading. This round is going to be an all signs tarot reading. Let's see what kind of positive vibes you're looking for right about now. What kind of words of encouragement you may need to hear whenever the heck it is that you find this video. Shall we? Okie dokie, as per usual, I've already pre-shuffled, but let's go ahead and cut the decks together, beginning with the archetypes. Pull in the middle to the top. We have the tear. Okay, and on the bottom is the heart. Okay. The tear, I feel like there's something that you're working through that's affecting you in ways that you weren't quite expecting. Maybe it's a matter of you think that you're beyond this point, and maybe that's been the problem, right? And it's something that might be kind of taking you by surprise, how it's affecting you. And like anytime you want to think about like water and such, rivers, oceans, there's a cleansing element to it, right? There's something that you're at a point where you can work through it from a non-biased, more impartial perspective than ever before. And it's just different now, right? But this is something that is down deep. If we're dealing with the heart, that is like the most treasured parts of ourselves, right? It's the most protected. The heart and the brain and the mind, right? The brain are the most protected parts of our bodies. And it's something that you've been holding on to, not like you're dwelling on it every day, but it became a part of you at some point. And you're recognizing whenever it is, whatever moment comes up that's coming up that you catch yourself crying or wanting to cry, you are meant to cry. You know, as long as you're like in a space where you feel safe to do so and get all up in your feels, do it. Work through it. If that's not what we're talking about literally right now, okay, that may be coming in, just an opportunity for you to work through that. And we're cutting the Believe in Your Own Magical Oracle deck now. And yep, escapist, come home to yourself. This speaks of things like daydreams and just binging shows all day, right? Distracting yourself, like it's another form of disassociation, right? But on the bottom is universe. We're all just stardust. I feel like this is such a moment for all of us, regardless of our astrological charts and such, right? And it looks different on all of us, but like this feels very like, even if you're trying to disassociate, even when you're just grabbing things, you know, to watch, choosing whatever, because it seems like you're in the mood, there are little things that come up that make you go, huh, that's funny. You know what I mean? Synchronicities and shit, if you will, right? That it's kind of like you've been bumbling along long enough, left to your own devices, and you need to come back. You know what I mean? Like you need to wake up. There's a big difference between going on vacation and unplugging, right? Going off grid for a minute to retune with nature and all that good stuff. And a lot of us need to do that, whether we realize it or not. And just completely losing track of your entire day. Just losing days to time blindness and whatnot. And you're being called out on that. But that's okay as far as I'm concerned. I'm sharing these with you, so I'm right there with you, man. Hey! Okay, moving on then. But, you know, this universe card is like the reminder. It's all good because we're at that point now where I feel like the universe and whatever may be is kind of like, okay, let's go. Like you have things to do. Everything matters. everything's big, everything's small, and all that good. Like, it's like that phrase, the stars lighting up, but in real time, in our lives, and being able to connect the dots and such, right? Which is very enabling with certain aspects of ourselves, right? Just a little opportunity to work through some shit, maybe. I don't know. Let's see if we can get some clarification. I don't know. It's a tarot. See what kind of adventure we can go on. I like to think of the tarot as a story, right? Maybe those are the prologue and shit. So what's chapter 1? Ace of Cups, man. Oh, most people tend to think about love when it comes to good-looking cards like that, if you ask me. But it also speaks of creativity and self-love. Taking care of yourself, figuring out what the heck that means, what it looks like for you at this point in life, right? Not, I mean, people can give advice and make recommendations, and it's your prerogative whether you want to heed it or not, right? I feel like it's not like we stop being curious, but it's really good to know thyself and know what works for you, what makes your soul purr and such, and being able to go from there. Because then we're just along the lines of dreaming bigger, right? Getting beyond creature comforts and what you thought would be it, that little catalyst that lets you know that, oh, it happened or whatever, right? This feels like just beyond that breath of fresh air, that recognition of, oh, that's what was going on there. Well, shit. You know what I mean? Chapter 2 is the Tower, just trying to soothe us before talking about all this change. Like, don't worry, you've got this, because whoop. The freaking Tower. Okay. So that change, but also there may be moments where you're scared or you're nervous or you're awkward because you don't know where things are going. To hand over that control and accept that you can't control everything. Like, there may be certain things that you like and you're sure that that's your taste and all that good, but then, you know, you can't truly control other people. You can put out a vibe if we're talking about the law of attraction, but we're all living our individual lives, right? And sometimes there are just simply forces at work that we have no answers for, that we cannot control. And that can be scary when we're willing to accept that, truly willing to open ourselves to the unknown and all possibilities, because that might include some bullshit that we don't want to experience. But what if the universe and the divine and your ancestors, your spirit guides, whatever all of that means for you, knows you, knows what you want, knows what you need, knows better than you what makes your soul purr? Do you trust them? Do you trust fate? And trust that wherever the heck you're going to land, it's going to be solid. And just however it goes, whether it's difficult in any sense or not, don't try to pick up the pieces and put them back where they were. That's a point that I always try to make with the Tower. This is crumbling for reasons, and it couldn't happen without your consent. You know things need to change. You know it's time. But, you know, it's just kind of scary, okay? It's just kind of scary sometimes. Like, Jesus Christ, you know what I mean? Where are we going? I don't know. Fuck it, right? And the ability to remember that in the unknown and all that can be possible is also some really good shit, too. Pleasant surprises, our favorite kind, right? What's chapter 3? Because it's the end of a long cycle. You may be feeling burnout, and I've been doing a bit of people pleasing and then finding difficulty with not only saying no when you're exhausted and you need a breather, but setting boundaries and respecting them yourself. Recognizing that it's okay to take care of yourself. But like, you're so determined at the same time. And the main point with the 10 of Wands is not only is the 10, again, speaking of an ending of a difficult journey, right? Like, if we're going through the wands, that's all of our passion, our dedication, our courage. And that's what you really need right now. That resiliency, that passion, and that courage. That ability to trust that you know what you're doing. You've been there, you've done that, and you have every right to trust yourself now. At the very least, trust yourself. Because you have that connection, right? It's within you, and it's a part of your guide. What's chapter 4? That is the tiniest flame on earth. We have another freaking major arcana. This time it's the Chariot card. Do you think they're making a point? My goodness. We're not just like, woo, it's the end of a cycle. Now we're just gonna plateau and just, I don't know. What do you want to do? I don't know. Dude, you know exactly what you want, right? You know exactly who you are and your trajectory. You may not have the details for a 5 or 10 year plan kind of shit worked out, but you know that whatever comes up, whatever, you know, crosses your path, you know how to handle it accordingly. This is speaking once again to that intuition, right? These Sphinx buddies, they're not tethered. There are no tethers. There are no reins. Right? They're free roaming, and it's like that harmonious teamwork. It's like they're speaking with telepathy or something, right? Like, there's no confusion going on. This charioteer knows exactly where they're going, and it's go time. This is a card of movement. So I feel like that's confirming for you, for us, that we're like, things are moving, whether you can even see it with your own eyes or not, which I bet you can. I freaking bet you can, right? You have so many cards of movement, even down to this overflowing cup, right? That cup isn't only full, it's overflowing. You want to talk about some abundance? Shit, what's coming up underneath that Ace of Cups is the King of Pentacles. Did somebody say abundance? What? This King of Pentacles, oh my goodness gracious. You want to talk about thriving, right? The King and Queen of Pentacles are not only doing well and secure within themselves and their lineage, their legacy and all that, their families, everyone's thriving. No one is going without in their kingdom. Everything is just boosh. Look at that freaking golden background. This is your, like, everything. Pentacles are earth. That's everything served to you on a golden platter. Maybe there's someone, an older gentleman, father figure, or someone who is coming in to help. If that's the pairing that we got going on with these two. The question is, are you accepting whatever kind of help this is? Because this could also be you, Daddy Warbucks. Whatever that means for you, however it resonates. What's coming up underneath that Tower card? And I find it very interesting that the way it's laying down, the Ace of Cups and the King of Pentacles are falling underneath where I have the stack with the heart on the bottom. And the Tower is coming up underneath the Tear card. The 10 of Wands is coming up underneath that escapist, come home to yourself, give me a break. The Universe card is right up above that Charioteer. This is just how I set them down. I love it when that shit happens. Underneath the Tower is the Knight of Cups. Hey. By the way, you might want to make sure that you're open to receive. Being able to reach this point is opening up doors that you may not have even thought of, right? And whether that's figurative and within or literal, I don't know, you tell me, right? And this, again, it's the cup. So it's not only speaking of things like love, but that fluidity, that ability to go with the flow and recognize that you're not a dead fish. Fuck anyone who's like, I'm so sick of that phrasing. Like, no. The ability to go with the flow actually requires a lot of strength and wisdom, right? To be able to accept life and challenges and make it look easy to other people. That takes a lot of strength and resiliency. Freaking get it, right? And it's coming up underneath the tower. The tower has not only the 10 of wands, sorry, that came up after it. It has the Ace of Cups to its left, and it has the Knight of Cups beneath it. So this change is nothing but good. It's so much beauty and love and creativity and just life showering blessings as far as I'm concerned, because I prefer to look at the positive vibes of it all, right? Underneath that 10 of Wands is the 7 of Pentacles. We got two different sides to this card. This can recognize that, you know, you've put in a lot of hard work, a lot of dedication, right? It's coming up underneath that 10 of Wands. So that's a lot of hard work and focus that has gone into this, whether it's a harvest, you know, a particular crop, your business, school, work is probably work though. And there may be certain points, certain things that you've been expecting. You know, maybe it wasn't a 5 or 10 year plan, but my goodness, 6 months, a year, hello, right? But this is like, that bush still looks pretty darn good from my perspective. Look at those pentacles. My goodness, that greenery is so lush. It's nice. This is pentacles and cultivating that garden. Not just enjoying some new fresh ideas, but being able to take that time and energy and figuring what, instead of just working yourself to the bone so that you are burnt out and unable to be there for anyone, including yourself, right? Where that balance is, to be able to feel accomplished and like you're doing something, recognizing the value in your time and energy and being recognized by others for that, right? Certainly the ones that matter to you, right? The opinions that actually matter. Being able to recognize that it's all worth something and you've come so far. So don't just be so hyper focused on how, there's a cat here on my face, how burnt out you are. Take that breather and recognize how far you've come. Honor how much you've learned, right? How able you are to enjoy when everything comes to fruition. The fact that everything is coming to fruition. Because why wouldn't it, right? You know. You know what's coming up underneath that Chariot card. Maybe there are times when you feel like you just gotta batten down the hatches and get shit the fuck done. But even when you're able to delegate and be the leader and being able to trust that there are others able to handle things for you, that you don't have to do every little thing. This Emperor still has armor on, dark armor, and black is like a color for protection, right? They can handle things. If they need to get up in the fray, if they need to get their hands dirty, they can, right? But just like how this charioteer, his armor is full of all kinds of alchemical symbols and all kinds of stuff going on there, right? This emperor, is not that an emperor is incapable of the emotions of it all and that feeling of connectedness and intuition, right? I'd like to think of the emperor more as stoic. You still have feelings, you still have emotions, but you're better able to handle, like we have two on either end of this, two very strong masculine vibes going on, right? but I'm still feeling balance in it all. The mental clarity, the fact that they're remembering that fire within, even when you're tired, and being able to follow through. Take a moment to breathe when you need to, when you need those sanity breaks, but otherwise follow through. What's the epilogue to the story? It's the Four of Pentacles. Let's chat. The Four of Pentacles speaks of things like clinginess, right? Like being stuck on an idea. And essentially cutting yourself off from even more abundance. Like if I do X, Y, and Z, then that's it, right? I got it. And it's not really allowing the elbow room and the grace for gifts and other things that really want to be in your life, and knowing exactly what else is possible, right? Because it's like, nope, I have these savings or whatever, and that's what it's there for. But then what if something happens and you have it and that's good, but now you don't, right? So it's like constantly feeling like you have to, like, that's a part of survival mode, right? Like you need to make sure that you have that nest egg, you have that savings, you're investing right, and all these things. But it's like money on your mind, and like clutching it to you and standing on it like there's nothing else to enjoy. And this person has the whole kingdom behind them, right? So this feels like, in the end, just stop clinging to ideals, right? Make sure that you're not the one getting in your own way, because you are the only one who can. It's a running theme, right? Get out of the way. It's time to live. What's on the bottom of this? 9 of frickin' Swords. Here I was starting to like, dang, Amy, are you sure? Like, what the fuck is it? Nope, there we go. Thanks for confirmation. What is it that is looping in your head that you can't, like, just, oh, you can't quite get out of that loop? This is such a constant theme for so many of us. I feel like it doesn't, this is one of those, like, it doesn't matter what astrological sign you are. This is a part, something that so many of us are working through. We each have our own loops. We each have our things, our outdated ways of thinking or beliefs, right? As we're trying to figure out what it all really means for us. And so we just keep getting continuously reminded, this is the shit you got to purge. You got to get it on out of there. Sorry if my wording just had an effect on anyone. But expel the demon. Expel the demon is hitting my mind, but I don't think of them in the same way anymore. But you know what I mean? Like, just, this is a good time once and for all to get to that nitty gritty with the root causes of things and letting it go. You have so many, I don't know how many more freaking things you need to see to let you, like, just let it go once and for all. You and me both, though. You and me both, fam. I don't know why I did that when I already shuffled these two. Hey, let's see about the extra notes, because I am babbling away and we're almost at 30 minutes. Some of us try, we try. I think that some are just better at keeping it nice and quick when there's so much. When you open yourself up to anything, like, ultimately I feel like us tarot readers here on YouTube doing these like community readings, it's more so just like esoteric life coaches is what I tend to refer to it as. Okay, you want to be seen, let's go. Okay, that's funny because they're both okay. So the one that wanted to be seen is the one that quotes, you can go your own way. Fleetwood Mac, right? Go your own way. And my note is love at arm's length. There's someone that you may really care for, possibly like a mother figure or something like that, that you can't help but worry about them. right? And want them to be okay, want to provide them with the life that they want and just enable them to be happy once and for all. But instead, they affect you, right? And sometimes, like when you've just been around someone so long and there's so much history that it's like you just need to get out of that codependent relationship that you may not even realize is going on. Like they affect you and it's not for the best. So there's also the get the fuck out card. Out of my face, out of my home, out of my life, whatever applies, please tell me you do not consider this person a friend. And please stop overanalyzing. You've already come to the conclusion as far as that relationship goes. The other one is crossroads demon. What did you do? For me, this just means there's something that a person did that they still feel like they need to atone for. At least one thing that was done or said that the guilt, you've been carrying this around for years. It has been long enough and you need to let it go. I don't think, I'm not feeling like it was truly a horrible thing. What I'm feeling is, at the very least, balance, right? Balance has, whatever debts you owe have been paid, is what I'm trying to say. It feels clear and open. So whatever you think is there holding you back, like you deserve it, it's nothing more, nothing less at this point. I'm going to point out that person is wearing white. So that speaks of innocence and purity. What if you didn't actually do anything wrong? What if you were just trained to think that you were in the wrong? To be the one to always apologize when you didn't do anything wrong to begin with. You were just there and they didn't know how to anything, whatever it is for that circumstance, right? Ultimately, we're all on our own paths at our own places, and some just, strength looks different and things work out differently for different people. But whatever it is that you think is on your shoulders doesn't belong there. And I think you know that. With the Fleetwood Mac song, You Can Go Your Own Way, coming up first, is just it is what it is, and it's time to let them go with love. Let them go, right? There are still things that you can do to help without having to sacrifice yourself anymore, okay? Pure and simple. Pure and simple. So just stop clinging to these ideals and these ideas and open yourself up, because the divine, the universe, has so much that it's trying to share with you, and it's time. And you know it. You know it. So just do that. Do the thing. You're doing the thing. It's all good. Follow through. It's all good. Thank you so much for joining me in this reading. I hope that it at least helped with some perspective and such. All that good. I definitely appreciate the company. So always remember that I love you.